All right, peace. What's going on, folks? Boom, right back at you, man. We still in it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, most importantly, pay attention. So this video was called "The Real Animal" with the question mark, right? So, with that being said, the question is, uh, uh, what is the definition of an animal, right? And it's not necessarily the general definition of an animal, but who and what is the animal at the end of the day. And obviously, it's gonna make a lot more sense the more we dive into this. But with that being said, this video is called "The Real Animal" with the question mark. You know, our relationship as human beings with animals, I believe, according to my opinion, it has been around since the beginning of time, especially since a lot of the things that we live off of and we survive off of derive in some form, directly or indirectly, from some kind of animal, right? From our plants being pollinated by bees, you know, um, to certain animals who, if they didn't eat something, and if their diet didn't lean one way, a certain food that we depend on wouldn't be a certain way, right? Now, with that being said, that link, that connection with human being and animal, the only reason why I'm so clear and definite that it began since the beginning of both existences, because in an ecosystem, um, things usually, the way they are is because they've always been that way. Yes, things evolve, they might change, but the essence always stays the same. The origin always stays the same, right? There's a vantage point to everything in nature. Um, there's almost like a footprint, or a sense of where you can see where, not only where it came from, but what it derived from, um, and then to what you see now. Now, a lot of us, we don't know those steps, right? Those gaps. Like, for example, when we look at an octopus, we look at it and go, "What the hell is it? What the hell did it even come from?" Not even octopus. Majority of animals that we know of, we don't necessarily know exactly what they actually evolved from, right? Now, the only reason why we don't know these things is just because we lack that connection. I feel like we used to have that connection, but now there's gaps within our connection of not only knowing consciousness, but also understanding. You understand? Which obviously that goes hand in hand with consciousness, is understanding, um, and knowing in the fullest and the most capable level, right? So, um, uh, so my point is that that's what I want to break down. I want us to break that down, because if you fast forward to now, um, it's not the same. I keep looking back because I got some tea brewing over here. That's why I keep looking this way. But it's not the same. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. That's why it's something we're talking about, because the dynamic of human being and animal is not the same. Even with our so-called pets, people don't keep pets for the same reasons that the bond was created, right? Nowadays, people keep pets more for selfish, insecure reasons, more for their own reasons as opposed to that pet. For example, they will buy a little ass lap dog, keep him in a little bag, paint the dog all sorts of colors. You know what I'm saying? Just parade the dog around, and then when they're done playing with the dog or having the dog around, they'll put him in a kennel or put him in a room. But basically, and you know what I'm saying, trap the dog somewhere while that human runs around and does whatever else he wants to do until it feels like playing with that dog again. Then the dog comes out. So even if you put your dog in the backyard, you're still trapping that dog on a piece of designated land that you made for it, so it could stay there and wait for you to come back and then entertain your needs of having a fucking dog. And my point is that we that's not why the companionship of animals was created, was for you to fill some void, because you're lonely, or you just like taking care of shit, or you like things admiring you, for whatever reason why you buy a dog or a pet for that matter. I feel like the connection was not created for those selfish narcissistic needs. That relationship was created for a survival for both parties to benefit from. So my point is that a dog is not benefiting from you putting it in the backyard. A dog is not benefiting from you feeding it processed food that you don't even know where it came from, and you just keep feeding the damn dog shit that not only he knows you ain't made, but it's just eating the shit because it's hungry and it tastes like something that it used to eat, or or instinctually it tastes like something that it should eat. But my point is that your dog is supposed to, if you hunt, or if you do things like that, your dog's supposed to help you catch that, right? And then you're supposed to feed that dog with what y'all both caught together. That was the point of a companionship with an animal, is that when you see birds will help you hunt. They'll show you where animal life is, because that's what they're constantly looking for. So they'll look for a certain type of animal. Well, you know that the animal you hunt likes eating rodents or likes eating snakes, right? That bird is looking for rodents and snakes, so you follow the bird, right? And then what happens when that bird starts circling a certain area? You stay put, you watch the scene, and then sure enough, you see the animal you're hunting for, which is looking for this, which is looking for the rodent, and now the bird looking for the rodent. Now it's lured in what you're hunting for. You kill what you're hunting for. What do? When you field dress it, you leave the scraps for the bird. That's the companionship. That's the nature of the companionship, where we work together for the same objective, where we both benefit. But then somehow, down the line, humanity has got that distorted to the point where not only is it not beneficial to the goddamn dog, but the dog, or the pet, period, the animal, the so-called thing that we call animals, has turned into the fucking now it's turned into a pet. It's turned into a pet. I don't know how more, how condescending you can get with anything by calling it a pet. Just the word pet. You this is all you do. I mean, just the verb to to verbalize pet. This is all you doing, pet. That's it. That's it. And that's what we have demeaned, you know, the animal kingdom to now, is that they're pets. To most people, some of the weirdest animals are pets to them. But like I said, that mentality, that mentality is not only what is killing us as a people, but it has wiped out so many different species of animals. It has turned the animal into a prophet and a spectacle, and literally a fucking slave. And the same concept that was used on the animals was used on people. The same concept of slavery, the same concept of objectifying, the same concept of objectifying, the same concept of exploiting. Not only was it used on animals, but it was used on people, and it was used on people's lands. It was used on people's culture, of taking their culture, of taking their lands, of taking the people and putting them in a cage and selling them and breeding them and using them. That's the same thing that a group of humanity has done to the animal kingdom. And we know, like I said, I've already talked about the relationship that we have. Without bees, not even half, majority of half of our plant life, vegetation life would cease to exist because of the lack of pollination. Just bees alone. I can't even imagine all the other shit, all the other little things that I don't know about, that I'm not naming. Just bees alone. So for us to take that concept, twist it to the point of perversion and exploitation. Like I said, it really speaks louder to who the real animals are. Who's the real beast? It speaks volumes to that. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so our love for all things furry has deep roots in human evolution and may have even shaped how our ancestors developed language and other tools of civilization. This animal connection compelled humans to learn about and care for fellow creatures, said Pat Shipman, the paleoanthropologist at Penn State University. She added that the behavior seems highly abnormal for the animals on the rare occasions that, say, captive tigers nurture pigs or vice versa. So it's something where, like this lady's saying, is that the connection has compelled humans to learn and to care for these creatures. And she is adding that the behavior seems highly abnormal for other animals on the rare occasions that, say, captive tigers that sometimes nurture pigs or vice versa. The animal connection runs through the whole human history and connects the other big evolutionary leaps, including stone tools, language, and domestication, Shipman explained. Instead of being isolated discoveries, they are a theme here. It's a very deep and old. Such nurturing behavior also paid off when humans learned to harness animals as living tools rather than just as food or companions, as detailed in the August 2010 issue of the journal Current Anthropology. That allowed people to essentially use the evolutionary advantages of dogs, cats, horses, and other animals for themselves. The seemingly unique human tendency still persists in modern societies. For instance, more U.S. households have pets than have children. You see homeless people on the streets with pets and people in dire circumstances keeping pets. That suggests that there's something humans get out of it, which is pretty old. Okay? You see what I'm saying? You see that statistic there, that more households in the US have pets than kids. And some people, which I'm sure y'all know very well, consider some of their pets their kids, their children. You know, to that point where they consider them children, right? So my point is that we have this weird connection with them, and it's a loving one. But at the same time, not in the same time, it's a distorted love for them nowadays. Because the same people who say them pets are their kids, they would lock that damn pet up and put it in the backyard, put it in a room, put a leash on it. You know what I'm saying? Not only do things that you wouldn't do to your kid, but honestly, what wants to have a leash on it? What wants to sit in a square spot and can't, and be contained? Nothing. Like, you don't want that? Why the fuck would why the fuck would any species or any other animal want that? So, like I said, for me, I find it twisted when people say shit like that, when they say that they love something, yet they keep it confined and restricted from actually living. How do you love something, yet you are the detriment of its survival? How the fuck does that work? How is it love? How can you tell somebody or something that you love it, yet you treat it, not only you treat it in a way that you don't want to be treated, but you treat it in a way that it does not grow mentally or physically, ever. Ever. How does a dog that never talks to other dogs, that sees other dogs every once in a while, how does that dog have a great fucking life? What if you only saw one or two people every once in a while? How good would life be for you? A dog that stays in the backyard 10, 15 years. That's a great life? Let's throw you in the backyard for 10, 15 years. Or let's just throw you in a house for 10, 15 years and you don't ever leave a bitch. Or the only time you go anywhere is to the backyard, like a dog, vice versa. So, like I said, for me, I find it crazy when people say love birds, they'll do anything for birds, yet they keep them in a goddamn cage. How do you love a bird and then imprison it? How is that love? So it's not love. But then we use the word love. I don't say we, because I don't do that. But my point is that what is that? What is your definition of love? It's obvious that that definition of love means it means you do what I need you to do. You do anything and everything that makes me feel good. That's love. That's love to them. And when I say to them, I mean people who entertain imprisoning an animal for the sake of calling it their pet or their fucking kid. That shit is disgusting when you think about it. How did we get to a place where the animal, we hunt with the animal and we share food with it, to the point where the animal sits in, if not a kennel, but it sits in like some little ass backyard or a sizable backyard, but it's confined in the backyard, and then you just feed it canned food that you don't even know where you got it from. How did we get there? Tell me that. How did we get there, people? As a people, how did we get there? How did we get to this? After what I just explained in regards to our connection, and all you pet lovers, I bet right now y'all go, "Oh, I love my pet." Fuck you. Like, y'all hating on me because I'm talking all this shit, right? So then, is this love right here? Look at this giraffe. Stuck in this confine, and people just feed it shit so you can take pictures. That's love? This is love? Where we recreate their environment for our entertainment so we can stare at them all day. That's love. Look at this shit. This is love right here. That poor bear is stuck in a giant fucking fish tank type looking thing, all just so that little kid can have something to stare at that looks different. This is what we call love. And then on top of that, like I said, we take our kids there, so then our kids are trained to feel like not only is it okay, but it's right to take an animal, put it in a box for you to look at all goddamn day. This little kid gonna grow up thinking this is more than okay for this animal to sit where it don't want to be sitting in this water. You don't think this animal would rather be in 3 million acres of fucking land, 300,000 acres of land roaming, than this maybe acre of fake pond that they had to recreate for this motherfucker to be there, just so this little kid can stare at it. So, like I said, how do we come from a time to where elephants would help us, lift things, would transport us over seas and rivers, and it would help us pick, fruits from high places. How did we go from that to we put it in a spot where people can look at it and pet it and give it food? How did we get to that? Look at this. How did we get to this? Look at this man. He got the stick right here. You see his stick. So if that means if the elephant act up, in front of the people, the elephant knows exactly what that stick for. But this is not a companionship. This is not a companionship. This is a show and tell. This ain't a companionship. Look at this shit. This is not a friendship. This is not a mutual deal. Look at this. Poor fucking lion is sitting in a glass. The lion's probably going, I don't know what the fuck this glass thing is. But these people keep walking up here. And now the lion's probably used to the shit. To me, this is not mutual. These animals do not agree to this. These animals do not agree to this. Why do we feel like it's okay to not only do this to them, but then we encourage our kids? Look at the smiling faces. Look at this poor giraffe leaning over this fence. How do we get to this? How do we get to this? Look at this. Show and tell. Just look at it. Look at it. This thing has to live in a cage for you, just for you to come stare at it. All this just for you to come stare at it. It has to live in a cage. Can you imagine you living in a cage and something coming to stare at you whenever for something to come and stare at you at its leisure? Can you imagine living in a cage for something to come and stare at you for its leisure? No. Not only can you not imagine it, but you wouldn't go for it. But for some reason, we think it's okay for not only for us to do this to these animals, but we bring our kids to not only enjoy it, but to ingrain it in their head that this is okay to do. We are mistaken, people. We are mistaken. So now what I'm about to do here is, believe it or not, even to this day, there's still places all over this world that try to maintain the original connection through nature that we have with what we call animals, right? The original companionship and mutual. Unlike the shit you see now, I'm gonna show you people who had mutual arrangements, mutual companionship with animals. That's what I'm gonna show you, which still exists, which is why these people, in your eyes, these people are poor. In my eyes, not only are they rich, but they're gonna live forever. They're gonna live forever because nature will take care of them too. Why? Is because they are trying to uphold the same commitment that has ensured our survival. Not only ensured it, but it was a beautiful relationship. It was from fishing, from animals helping you fish, and you share the spoils with them. From animals protecting you, from animals saving you. Why do you think most civilizations hold so many animals in high regard? Why? Why do you think so? It's because there's something that is overwhelmingly beneficial of having a mutual and a positive companionship with them. Not this shit where you put them in a goddamn cage so you and your kids can stare at them whenever the fuck y'all feel like it. What type of narcissistic, fucking full of yourself type of mentality is that? That's what I wish you would see. The nerve of assuming that all things are at your disposal to take, put in a cage, sell, and stare at. That mentality alone is what I said, like I said earlier in this video, was what created this mess. From colonizing animals to people to land, even to religion, to spirituality, you name it. Taking, and fucking just taking. We wouldn't have made it this far if that's how the dynamic of humans and animals has always been. We wouldn't have made it this far because animals would have been long extinct if people were just as dumb as they are now. But that's not the case. It wasn't the case back then. The reason why animals now are extinct is because not only are we killing them for sport, not only are we killing them to hurt some other culture, right? But most people, is because we're killing their environment they're living in, we're taking over their environment they're living in, or we're polluting their environment they're living in. And the buffaloes weren't weren't killed off just because the meat was so good. Buffaloes weren't killed off because they were so dangerous. Buffaloes were killed off because they were the main source of protein and food for the Indians. So the colonizers knew by killing them off, it would hinder the Indian people because that was their main source of food. So that's not respecting the mutual companionship of animal and people. Selling pelts and all that shit, you know, to where like I said, where these things got close to extinction. That shit is not a beneficial agreement for both parties. Only one side wins. And when it comes to this, only one side wins. Look at this. Only one side wins. Them little kids, that's it. Look at them all happy. Are those elephants fucking jumping in the air, smiling like that? Nope. But these motherfuckers are. Look, are them baboons smiling like these people? No. But these motherfuckers are. They smiling, loving it. They loving it. And I don't even feel sorry for that lady. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know. I don't care. I really don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for anybody falling into that shit. You fall into a zoo thing, man. I don't even wish you good luck. I don't even wish you good luck. You shouldn't have been there. Yeah, straight up. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have been there. Look at this shit. Look at these poor fucking orangutans. Looking at these idiots. This shit makes me sick, man. So here I'm gonna show y'all some people who've been doing it for the longest time. What you're looking at there is the temple of the python. That is a temple. It's not a zoo. It's a temple. It's like a church. You know what a church is, right? The zoo ain't no temple for them animals. That's a goddamn prison for them animals. This is the temple. It's a historical site to visit in Benin. Is in the Python Temple in the town of Oida. There is an interesting story behind how the temple came to exist. The temple is facing the Oida's Basilica, and the adoration of pythons started after a war that took place in 1717 when the kingdom of the Dahomey still existed. At the time, Oida wasn't part of the kingdom of Benin, and during that war, Oida was defeated. King Kapasa, ruler of the kingdom of Oida, fled the town and took refuge in a big forest in order to not be captured by the notorious Gezo warriors who were seeking for him. The legend has it that during the search, many pythons started to come out of the forest, therefore protecting King Kapasa of Oida from his capture. You see that right there? That's love right there. They're one. And you see the symbol of the snake protecting. That's a protecting curl right there. You see what I'm saying? I know that motherfucker ain't no. He said that python is not a. That python isn't in a cage. It's not in a cage. It's not on a leash. Motherfucker's wrapped around her because she trusts that motherfucker. This was how the king was saved and decided to honor pythons by building 3 huts in that forest that will be used as monuments to commemorate pythons. The pythons are called royal pythons and are worshipped in Benin, especially Oida. You see what I'm saying? Honor. Decided to honor the pythons by building 3 huts. Not honor the pythons by building some zoos and then charging for motherfuckers to come in and look at it and pet the motherfucker. No. It was the monuments that were made to commemorate the pythons. Now the snakes are oh shit, what's going on here? My bad, hold up, I need to go back here, my bad. Alright, so now the snakes are a totem in Benin and are important especially in the religion of voodoo. They are not harmful, and as a respect, pythons are not supposed to be killed, or bad luck will strike if it does occur. Every 7 years, the adepts hold a ceremony where they would celebrate the symbolism and value of the pythons in the temple. So, did you hear that? They are not harmful, and as a respect, pythons are not supposed to be killed, or bad luck will strike if it does occur. You see, that's another thing too I want to mention specifically with that, just with that rule right there. There was a lot of rules when it came to African spirituality that, you know, we didn't go by if you got away with it type shit, you all right. You see, there was always spiritual accountability that always spoke louder than even civil accountability. And that's what people don't understand. And when people always ask dumbass questions to me, like when we talk about things and people ask me dumbass questions and go, "Did Africans sell themselves? Or was Africans sell themselves?" Number one, I answer the question. I say, "How the fuck do people sell themselves when they've been invaded? How do an invaded people sell themselves? How do you trade with someone that just fucking took all your shit? You don't. You don't trade with people who just took all your shit. They just take all your shit. Second of all, the idea of another African in that sense. I'm not saying that didn't happen. What I'm saying is, not that many did it, just because of the simple fact that they knew spiritually afterwards they would pay. That a lot of times not only did it hold people in ground, but that is something that held you accountable in this life because you knew you would pay in the next. That's something that is still very, very strong in African spirituality and customs. So to answer a lot of questions that the weird, you know what I'm saying, kind of borderline, whatever moral, kind of, whatever moral challenge that it puts you in. Always remember that fact that I just told y'all, that in regards to African spiritualism and any society or civilization tied to it, which is from the Olmecs, the South Americans over there, all the way to the Japanese. They're all tied to the sun, city, which was ancient Egypt, right? Or you want to call it ancient Ethiopia, whatever you want to call it. But my point is that all these civilizations, they all understood that fact, that if you broke these natural laws, that you will face, if you broke these natural laws, that you will face a harsher judgment in the spiritual world, which is what succeeds you, right? So, all right, let's move on. So yeah, this was honor, respect. You see what I'm saying? This ain't honor, that ain't respect. This ain't honor, that ain't respect. This is a goddamn spectacle. That's a spectacle. That ain't honor, that ain't respect. This ain't honor. That's not respect. That's that little boy who fell in there. I don't care about him either. I don't understand why. I hope y'all don't even, y'all can't look at me and feel bad either. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about that man. What is you doing? What is you doing? What is you doing? I don't give a fuck. What were you doing? Why'd you come to the place where these motherfuckers sitting in the circle? I put it like this. If I was in a cage and an animal fell in, I'd have done the same thing. I'd have fucked that animal up. If I was that woman and the polar bear jumped in my water, I'd have fucked your ass up. Y'all motherfuckers have been holding me in there all this time, and yeah, I'd have fucked your ass up real good. So this shit might look cute to y'all, but it ain't cute to this elephant. Cause the elephant gotta stay there. You get to go home. Elephant don't get to go home. You get to go to your home that you call home, that you choose to be home. This elephant does not get to do that. So fuck y'all for thinking that shit is sweet. The temple, anyone is welcome to visit the Temple of Pythons. The admission fee is about $3, and there's usually a guide that will take you around and inside the huts to see the pythons. There are certain huts that are inaccessible unless you have been initiated. The guides inside the temples are initiated and can be recognized with their striking scarification on their faces. And we're going to touch on that in just a second. Before I go any further, this is the unfortunate thing about money. You see what I'm saying? You see, without money, motherfuckers would just be coming here out of respect and honor. But then as soon as you start throwing this shit around, that's when you start getting all this. That's when you start getting all this shit right here. When you start throwing this around right here, you see that? When you start throwing that around, you start getting this. The exploitation time. It's time to fucking pimp it out. Let's pimp anything and everything. We'll pimp that human on top of that gorilla, and we'll pimp that gorilla. Look at that poor tiger. Look at that poor tiger, man. Shit's fucked up. That shit breaks my heart. That shit breaks my heart. Because I can't imagine something doing that to me. That's what I do. I picture myself there. I'm like, I can't imagine that. And motherfuckers smile, got their kids smiling and shit, having a great time. While this motherfucker's sitting in a fucking prison. That's a prison. That's a prison. That's a prison. That's a prison. Sad, man. These are prisons. These are prisons, folks. That is a prison. That is a prison. And what's unfortunate is that when it comes to this is what happens to these animals. So this is a sacred hut of the pythons. All right, and so do not be surprised if you see a few lingering around in the courtyards and in the corners. They are fed very well and are harmless. In addition, you are allowed to pitch them up. Oh, pitch them up. You're allowed to pick them up and take pictures with them. It's encouraged to tip the guide as a token of appreciation. These motherfuckers can't spell for shit. Okay, so let's take a look at these folks right here. Let's take a look at these folks right here. This is in Benin. This is the Republic of Benin.
We are in the temple of Python here. Here is the room of Python. Okay. My friend is an adept of Python, and he has a tribal mark. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2 at the honor of Python. If you see on the face of Python, you see a 5 and 5. Okay, Python never eats here, like, because it's sacred animals. You understand? We never give them food. They never reproduce themselves. They are here since centuries. 4 centuries.
So, how do they give birth?
How do they reproduce themselves?
They never reproduce themselves. Sometimes we bring them at the bush, and after 3 months or 5 months, they come back here. Sometimes with their picking, small one. Okay, they come back small, but they never reproduce themselves inside.
Why not here? There will be a first python that was brought in. Or maybe an human being turned to a python, like according to the image you saw outside, the woman with a python around her neck. Is it someone started worshipping or?
4 centuries ago, a man come from Gliji at Togo. He brought here the first python, and she built the hotel of python. And since this time, a lot of python start to come here, and we put this room for them. And people usually come here to see python. Okay, and we worship python here. Every people you see on this stamp card, two, those is the travel mark of python.
You said they
And they
disappear
are the
at night.
worshippers of Python. Those with that marks are the worshippers of Python.
Those,
You mean people with that tribal mark worship Python?
yes,
So you say they disappear at night. Where do they disappear to?
we don't know why. Because that's the spiritual animal. At a night, every python which is inside the room disappear. Every night, at the morning, they come back.
Like what time at night? Is it 7 p.m., 8, 9 p.m.?
Since around 8, 8,
So when will they come back in the morning?
around 7,
Around 7 p.m.
7 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Babarisa. Thank you very much. So you said you're from Nigeria, in
I'm
Oyo
from
State.
Nigeria.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Y'all hear what he said there? Y'all hear that? He said that the pythons, he said they keep them in their sacred huts, and he said in the evening they leave. He said they disappear, they leave. They said, where do they go? I don't know. It's not up to me. I just know that at night they leave. Then they come back. You see what I'm saying? But that, like I said, I don't know the whole story and if they really do disappear. But my point is that to have that companionship and that respect for that animal is what nature's about, because understanding that mutual dynamic is understanding that we're in this together. And not only is that a beautiful, transparent understanding of each other, but it's going to propel us. It propels us. It propels those people in the python. Their existence, it permeates their existence. It defines their existence. It confirms their existence. And it encourages their existence, most importantly. It's a beautiful dynamic. Just think about it as energies. Imagine in that area if you were a python. You know, to be honest with you, when I think about it now, because of the fact of money, it's probably a little scary. Just because they know now, since money's involved, we know what happens with money. I just showed y'all what happens with money. Things get put into fucking cages. Look at what happened to the zoo. Look what happened to Africans in the slave trade. People got put into cages for money. That's what happens with money. People start getting put in the cages. Animals start getting put into cages. Humans start getting put into cages. People's spiritualities are put in cages. People's lands are seized and put in cages. And so my point is that not only am I proving to y'all that this perception is not only new, but I'm proving to you guys that this perception is going to be our detriment and has been, as y'all watch the shit show that's been going on. But most importantly, it's something that it was never that way. So don't ever get it twisted when you hear people say so. It was never that way. It was never that way. That you run around with a 50 caliber weapon to kill an animal because you too scared to go get it with this, a spear or goddamn it with your bare hands. That animal gonna kill you with its bare fucking paws, but you too scared to do that, right? But I thought you was the fucking smart animal, right? Oh yeah, so you smart enough to cheat. I don't know since when it's cheating is called smart. I never knew that. You can call it smart. I don't call it smart. I call it cheating. That's exactly what it is. So my point is the sport of shooting a fucking animal that doesn't shoot back is something that is new. The perception of putting an animal in a cage for your amusement is new. That's my point. It's new. It's only, thousands of years old. That's not how we used to do things. Because we've been on this earth for too long, and if that's how we used to do things, look how bad it is. Look how long. Look how short of a time period it got to be this bad. And if that's how we started, we wouldn't have even got to 1,000,000 years. And we way past that. But look at this shit. This fuckery of caging shit up has only been around. Excuse me. What? Some 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10,000 years. The idea of slavery ain't been around that long. The idea of, like I said, taking something, exploiting it for what it's worth, that idea has not been around that long, because that's not what the ecosystem's about. It's not about exploitation. Nature is not about exploitation. Nature is about give and take. When you give, some's taken. When you take, some's given. That's what nature's always been. Ain't nothing between. We just got between that. We just got between that as people. So now you see the people of Benin in regards to how they do things there when it comes to the pythons. Now, let's go to Nigeria, where people do things just a little different, but just as fly. You hear me? So, Anambra village, where man and crocodiles live in harmony. Crocodiles are not known to be man's best friend. One of the deadliest killing machines and nocturnal hunters. They attack and eat animals as well as human beings. According to Wikipedia, crocodiles are ambush predators, waiting for fish or land animals to come close, then rushing out to attack. Now, crocodiles mostly eat fish, amphibians, crustaceans, mollusks, birds, reptiles, mammals, and occasionally cannibalize on smaller crocodiles. What crocodiles eat varies greatly with species, size, and age. From the mostly fish-eating species, like the mesostops, and freshwater crocodiles, to the larger species, like the Nile crocodile and the saltwater crocodile that prey on large animals such as buffalo, deer, and wild boar. Diets shows great diversity. All young crocodiles, they hunt mostly invertebrates and small fish, now gradually moving on to larger prey. As cold-blooded predators, they have very slow metabolism, so they can survive long periods without food. Now, despite their appearance of being slow, they're very fast and they have a very fast strike and are top predators in their environment. And various species have been observed attacking and killing other predators such as sharks and big cats, pretty much anything that will get close enough to the water. Okay, so enough about their biome. Now the crocodiles at Aguku Lake in Anioka local government area of Anambra State are different in many ways. Numbering about 300, the crocodiles are human friendly. Indeed, they are gatekeepers of the community, so to say. You hear that? The gatekeepers of the community. Hence, they do not kill but rather protect the people. They also hear human voices and hearken to them. So the crocodiles are regarded as sacred beings and cannot be killed. At noon, they appear at the bank of the lake, basking in the sun to get the temperatures they desire. You see what I'm saying? You see what they said? They cannot be killed. The same way as these folks who said that the pythons are not supposed to be killed, or bad luck will strike. You see the pattern in Nigeria. This is Benin. You see these cats, and they're not here. These cats in Nigeria, they're saying the same thing, right? They're saying the same thing. They said that they're considered sacred beings and cannot be killed. You see that these people have an accordance with ideology and perception. That's what I'm trying to show y'all was universal with not only Africans but civilizations that are tied to Africa. That we had a universal understanding of things, and especially when we hold these certain animals, specific animals, in high regard, we hold that respect in honor, in the most high honor. That means you can't run around, kill them, and sell them and do all that bullshit. Because not only will you pay here in this life, but you will pay in your afterlife even more. And your family will too, and everything. And that's very true. And that's very true. And I feel like all these people that do these things, these exploitative things with animals, and in some indirect way, you will pay for it. Nature will have you pay for it one way or another. So, with that being said, at noon, they appear at the bank of the lake, basking in the sun to get the temperatures they desire. According to Mr. Sunday Ogu Elias Ayaka, a traditionalist, it is sacrilegious to kill a crocodile at Agulu Lake. He volunteered that anyone who does that, even in secret, will be beset with problems of unmanageable proportion. You see what I'm saying? That's how real the goddamn rules were. That's how, you see, you don't need police when you got laws like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no goddamn SWAT team when you got laws like that. These laws, nobody had to write them down. There wasn't no constitution for these laws. These laws were spoken into existence and spiritually were upheld. Civilly were upheld. You don't need SWAT for these type of laws. You don't need no Supreme Court judge. You don't need no old white man trying to tell you how long you're going to sit in a cage for these laws. These laws you will abide by because there's something greater than that old white man sitting in that robe. There's something greater than that Supreme Court justice system. There's something greater than that jury who think they're better than you. There's something a lot better than them that they even have to answer to. You understand? That's what I love about this, because it's so real. Because they try to play that game. You see, this is the thing about it. You hold yourself accountable. That's the thing about it. You hold yourself accountable. Anybody who does it, even in secret, motherfucker, that's your ass. And you should know that. And you should know that. But see, we done ran away from that. That's why now we have to get these laws to watch your ass, right? We got to have these laws that regulate your ass and keep at your fucking heels. It's because no one now is spiritually, independently accountable for the shit they do in secret. They think if nobody sees it now, they can actually get away with it. When they don't understand that a whole nother world is observing everything you're doing. Everything you're doing. Anybody who kills a crocodile at the lake will suffer in several ways, whether he was seen or not. For instance, if the person is a billionaire, he can become a beggar within a short time. In fact, anything can happen to that person, which is exactly what nature is. Anything can happen to you in nature. You walk outside, anything can happen. That's the exact same way when it comes to your misfortune, especially when it's on the tab of nature. Especially when you're doing it and it's at the sake of nature, you're gonna get it in numerous different ways. So nobody dares to do that, he stated. Ayaka explained that anybody who kills a crocodile must atone for the sacrilege before he can be set free. The nature of penance, according to him, will depend on the demands of the deity. Myths and mysteries indeed. There are many myths and mysteries swirling about the lake. For instance, it is taboo to go fishing in the lake so as not to disturb the peace of the crocodiles that are revered by the locals. It was gathered that in the past the crocodiles had saved the town from foreign invaders, hence they're highly regarded. Do you understand what I just read to y'all? It was gathered that in the past the crocodiles had saved the town from foreign invaders, hence they are highly regarded. Folks, these crocodiles at one point in time, not only were they able to, I say not only too much, I need to quit saying that, I've noticed that. The crocodiles were able to differentiate who lived among the crocodiles and who was an enemy, who was the visitor, who was the stranger, and defended this community. That's how real this shit is. That's how real this shit is. And we know that we can train marine life to do all sorts of shit, right? You know, we got dolphins doing flips, doing moonwalks in the water, all stupid shit like that. We got animals shucking and jiving and buck dancing, right? But in all honesty, too, we know how smart them damn animals are. And instead, we got them running around here doing dumb shit, right? Spraying water at people, waving they fin. Like, that shit's fucking stupid. That's like telling your 2-year-old kid to wave. You know what I mean? That fucking animal is a genius. A dolphin is a goddamn genius. It's like their perception, their brain, the critical thinking, the processing. Those things are fucking geniuses, and you got that motherfucker running around here doing moonwalks in the water, flapping its fucking fins like a goddamn idiot, just so people can look at it and clap and go ah and laugh over some dumb shit. That's what I'm saying. That's like someone having you in a cage, having you just wave your hand in the air like that. Just wave your hand in the air, or do a somersault. Do a somersault for the animals. Make them laugh. It's fucking retarded. A local source said, "We learned from our forebears that the crocodiles saved Agulu from powerful enemies who came to eliminate them. During the wars, the crocodiles transformed into beautiful ladies and lured the enemies into the lake where they drowned. And other side of the story had it that the enemies disappeared without a trace, right? So obviously this is hey, look, shit, anything's possible. To be honest with you, anything's possible, as crazy as some of the shit sounds. So I wouldn't put it past anything if that actually happened. The crocodiles transformed into beautiful ladies and lured the enemies into the lake where they drowned. That sounds like a fucking mermaid to me, right? It sounds like a mermaid to me. Um, and then just them saying that the enemies disappeared without a trace. But one thing's for sure is we've heard of sea animals turning into beautiful ladies before, right? We done heard them stories before. So let's not act like this shit is like I'm just pulling it out of the fucking stars. We've heard of sea animals turning into beautiful ladies, right? We've heard of the the um, the nomos and the dolphins. We've heard of the nomos and the dolphin relation. We've heard of the Atlantis and the dolphin relation. We've even, and if you guys are saying, if y'all read deep enough, y'all have read about the evolution of the dolphin, exactly what they are, because they are actually one of our cousins. If you didn't know that, they are mammals with us. They are really close cousins to us, brain size even almost, if not bigger than us too. But nevertheless, these animals, there's repeated stories of them transforming into, or some kind of sea life transforming into a beautiful lady, right? We call those mermaids. So, I don't know. I wasn't there. Even today, Agulu Lake remains an uncommon development. It is home to traditional worshippers who use it for various spiritual exercises, such as making sacrifices and exorcising evil spirits from people. Okay? So I won't go too much further, but it does mention here that the water is also believed to contain healing properties for all manner of ailments. It is also the source of Aldemili River, which serves different communities in Anambra State. Inside Crocodile Conclave, Daily Sun was at the rare and extraordinary location recently and got a special welcome from the sacred reptiles. See what I'm saying? So, it's real, folks. It's real. And and I got another one for you. Story of Pacho, the crocodile. When a man and croc become best friends. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. What could turn a crocodile into a man's best friend? It's a good question. Look at that. Nearly 20 years ago, I'll leave the picture in there so y'all can see that. Nearly 20 years ago, a 5-meter-long crocodile lay severely injured on the bank of the Parasmina River in Costa Rica after being shot by a farmer. Lucky for that crocodile, a kind local named Chito couldn't bear to let him die. Chito rescued Pacho, as he called the croc, and nursed him back to health. I just wanted him to feel that someone loved him. That not all humans are bad, Chito told the Tico Times. I love all animals, especially ones that have suffered. When Pacho the crocodile had regained his strength, Chito took him back along the river to release him, but Pacho didn't want to be left behind and followed Chito home. With permission from the Minister for Environment and the help of Yet, Chito looked after Pacho for nearly 2 decades. So before I go any further, I want to show something here. You see how, like I was talking about earlier, and I love it when these things just start kind of connecting. You see, I was talking about earlier that mutual benefit, right? That mutual companionship. That crocodile, when he, what's his name? Damn it, what's his name? When Chito found Pacho, when Chito found the croc, felt bad for him, so he helped him, took care of him, right? And so then the croc was only benefiting there, right? So then when Chito was noticed that the croc was healthy, took him back to the river so he can leave him alone. You can go back to your home. The croc said, "Listen, you took care of me. Now it's time for me to, what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't do nothing for you. So I can't leave until that's taken care of." You see, that's what I'm saying? That's nature at its best. Even in our culture, in my culture, a lot of African cultures, that's the exact same thing. If you do for somebody, somebody does for you, not that you pay it back, but you do something for them too. And until that's done, then it's almost like your debt hasn't been paid. But it's not a debt. It's saying that I benefited from you, right? So now you should benefit from me. Because that's what nature is. Nature, like I was talking about earlier, giving and taking. One day you take, but one day you got to give. That's nature. So when the croc had to give, when the croc had to take, Chito was there to give, right? So then when Chito was like, "All right, look, Croc, you good now," the croc was like, "Hold up, now it's time for me to give," and the motherfucker followed him home. So that's what I'm saying. That's that thing. That's that. To me, it's telling me that croc wanted to fulfill nature's law, saying, "You took care of me. Now it's time for me to find a way to take care of you." That's nature's law. So, as we go on, as their bond strengthened over the years, as that bond strengthened, that we just talked, the dynamic, that natural dynamic, give and take, vice versa, Chito and Pacho grew to trust each other so completely that they spent hours each day swimming and playing together. Remarkably, Pacho the crocodile was gentle and patient with his human companion and would even respond to his name when called. Thousands of tourists, scientists, and animal behavior experts came to see Chito and Pacho having fun. Look at that big ass crocodile, man. Look at that. With the smile on that man's face, and I'm assuming that's a smile on that croc's face. Because these people, that's nature at its finest right there. That's nature at its finest right there. That's something that you could assume is so dangerous is being so playful. But then what y'all don't realize too is that man, him being a man, he's just as dangerous as that fucking animal. That's what people always fail to forget. That man right there, Chito. Chito is just as dangerous as that crocodile. Don't get it twisted. Chito is just as dangerous as that crocodile. Humans are just as dangerous as that goddamn crocodile. This is what a human will do to you. That's what a human will do to your ass. That little kid right there will put your ass in a tank for you, just so she can look at you whenever she feel like it. So don't get it twisted when you see a crocodile and a man in the water. These are both very, very dangerous animals. Both of these motherfuckers is dangerous as shit. Because Chito could put you in there real quick. Chito could put you in there. And then Pacho can put you in his belly. You know? So like I said, scientists, everybody blown out of their mind, can't even understand how this dude is playing in the water with a big ass crocodile. They don't get it. It's because they don't understand. It's because of this. This is why. This is why they don't understand. It's because they grew up doing this shit. This is why scientists, animal behavior experts, at least what they call themselves, that's why they don't understand. Is because they grew up doing this shit. How can you be a behavior expert and animal behavior expert, and actually, like as if you really understand and respect animals enough to learn about them, and you are okay with this shit right here. You're okay with this shit. Shit blows my fucking mind. So, after many years of friendship, Pacho the crocodile died after natural causes last year at the age of 50. Hundreds of people attended his funeral. Chito was naturally devastated by Pacho's death, but continues to share his friend's story to raise awareness about just how special crocodiles are. You know what I'm saying? So the story of Chito and Pacho shows that even crocodiles can appreciate an act of kindness, but you don't have to befriend a crocodile to make a difference to countless other animals who deserve our compassion too. It's not just about compassion. It's just about mutual fucking respect. You ain't got to feel bad for the motherfucker. Just respect it like you would want it to respect you. You know, like how you don't want a fucking, coyote or a bobcat to just run up on you and eat you. Well, that fucking animal's looking at you, going, motherfucker, you don't have to just come and grab me and throw me in the fucking cage. You don't have to just come and shoot me to put me on your wall. I mean, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's looking for no fucking pity. Nobody's looking for no sympathy. This is respect. This is respect. This motherfucker lives out here just like you do. If anything, this motherfucker been here, this deer, that bobcat, that whatever the fuck you shooting all day, that you feel like you got big balls after you kill it. It's been here. It was here. If anything, you come into its land just to kill it. It's respect. Fuck your pity. Fuck your sympathy. It's respect. Respect. But see, that's the thing. This right here, that's lack of fucking respect. This is lack of respect. That's what this is, lack of respect of that animal. That is respecting the fact that the animal doesn't want to be in no concrete fucking cage so your kid can come feed it some stank ass cabbage or whatever the fuck you feed it. To respect the fact that these giraffes don't belong there because they don't live in places where there's fucking little bridges and little humans run around feeding them bullshit. It's respect. That ain't respect. That shit ain't respect. This is buffoonery. This is savagery. This is savagery. Like I said, this picture right here, get him. Give a fuck. What the fuck is you doing? What the fuck is you doing? This is savagery. You might think that shit cute. That shit's savagery. That fucking kangaroo don't belong there. That orangutan don't belong in front of them humans like that. If it is, it should be where the orangutan lives, and you came to its house to check him out. Not that motherfucker being brought to your city, sat in a cage, just so you can come down the street whenever you feel like it to come check him out. This isn't honor. This isn't mutual. That's not respect. That's respect. This is respect. This Look at them. They're not even caring about the fuck y'all waving at. This here. Look at this here. Pacho Chito kicking it. Having a good time. Both of them together at the same time. Having a good time. This shit right here, only y'all are having a good time. Look at these fucking orangutans. Bored as fuck. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Look at these idiots. Orangutan, like, what the fuck? These motherfuckers always do this shit. They come stand in front of us for a second and then a flash goes off. I don't know what the fuck they doing, bro, but this shit's annoying as shit. That's it. This is not a win-win fucking show here. This is not we're both having fun. I know that is. That motherfucking crocodile kicking back. Look, Chato smiling. I mean, the Cheeto smiling. Pacho kicking back. They are having a good goddamn time. Can't say the same for them orangutans behind them people. I know the white people are having a good time. I know that. I know they're having a great old time. I know they about to have a great old time. Look, he got his son. I know they about to. Come on, son. I'm about to show you what pimping animals looks like. I'm about to show you what pimping a bunch of animals looks like. Look at this shit. That orangutan is not having fun. I know motherfucking Pacho was. I know Pacho was. So let's move on. Let's move on. So next we have the elephants, right? Now, specifically in Thailand, elephants are held in high regard. The same way in Benin, right? The same way in Benin. The same way in Nigeria with the crocodiles, right? Held in high regard. Thai elephants have a very strong relationship with the natives. For thousands of years, natives trained Thai elephants to aid in transportation. When it was still legal, they would help aid in hard labor such as logging. Back during the days of Alexander the Great, these elephants became useful during wars, and each elephant would be individually trained with pricked spears on their skin in order to help aid them to move forward during wars. Thai elephants have a huge cultural significance on the country. People would write books about elephants, have paintings drawn of them, and they even made their official provincial seal's elephant. Elephants are so culturally important to Thailand that their national flag was of an elephant. Elephants represent wealth, power, and strength to the Thai people, and this is why they are held at such a high cultural esteem. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And then too, this just made me think of a really good point. This made me think of a really good point. You know why? I know why I know that the powers that be not only understand this concept, they're deliberately exploiting it, is because certain animals are chosen, to have more favor than other animals. For example, you can't kill no eagle, especially an American eagle. You can't kill no eagle around here in North America. You can't kill no eagle around here in North America. They'll put you in jail. See, they respect that animal, right? They respect that animal because that animal holds a metaphoric symbol to them, right? Didn't help them hunt, right? Didn't help them do shit. It just makes them feel brave. So since an animal makes you feel brave emotionally, especially this specific animal, didn't help. Eagles didn't help with transportation, did they? No. Did they help with food? No. Motherfuckers don't eat eagles. No. Can you train an eagle to do? No. So there's nothing a human being is utilizing the eagle for, because you barely even see the motherfuckers. But emotionally, they are utilized. Metaphorically, through symbolism, they're utilized. And in this, at such a level that you don't see an American eagle in a zoo. You see everything else in a goddamn cage in the zoo, but have you ever seen an American eagle sitting in a goddamn zoo? A bald eagle, that is. Have you ever seen that motherfucker just sitting in the zoo in a cage? I don't. I don't. Because they understand the gravity of the bond, right? But see, look, for me, I find it surface level. It's a surface level relationship with that animal. But that shows you how strong. It shows you how strong that bond is, even at a surface level. That even when an animal just has you feeling cool, you could make it your national animal, and you know what I'm saying, national representative, to where if somebody even hurts that animal, you will fucking not only put them in jail, you fucking kill them too. Just because the animal makes you feel strong. Now imagine if that animal helped you survive. Like literally helped you survive. Imagine if that animal pulled logs for you. Imagine if that animal somehow helped you hunt every time you went out hunting. Imagine if that animal was that efficient to your thriving. How much of a respect level you'd have for it then. Imagine that. That's like if a dog, like as much as dogs help people, that's like if people said right now, if you kill a dog, you know, they'll treat you like they treat you with a bald eagle. Because right now, you kill a dog, you fuck around, and, you know, it's like if you go to jail, you probably go to jail for like you probably don't go to fucking jail. What the fuck am I talking about? You maybe go to jail. Maybe. Get some animal cruelty type shit. But, you know, it's like you're not getting no bald eagle charges. I know that much. Because the eagle's held in a high regard. But like I said, why is it held in such high regard? Because of its metaphorical symbolism. Because it means freedom. It means strength. Boom, that's it. So do you understand my point here? Is that now imagine if it meant more than just, imagine if it was more than just a symbol for you. Imagine if this animal actually helped you in society, like I just explained with the Thai elephants. Like the guys in Nigeria explained that the crocodiles would protect them. Things of that nature. Imagine if that was what the eagle was doing, which is why it was held in such high regard. So for me, I'm looking at it going, if something is loved at such a shallow surface level of it just makes me feel strong and cool, you can't kill it. Imagine if it was helping you in society. So people know how to respect, but they just choose not to. They just choose not to. So let me show y'all some. This is how much the Thai people love elephants. This is Muay Thai, the fighting skill, and this is an elephant fucking technique. Watch the arms. His arms will start turning into tusks. This is by watching the elephant. This is by watching the elephant in the movement. See, that's a tusk right there. He turns his arm into a tusk, man. Watch, my favorite one about to come up right here. Here come the tusk. Ooh, that's a tusk. Here come the tusk. Hey! There it is. That's the tusk. That's an elephant tusk right there. You know what I'm saying? That's that real shit. That's that real shit right there. That's that real shit right there. You see them boys? You see them boys? Nature at its finest. And nature and the human combined, creating Muay Thai like that. You see that Muay Thai elephant style. That's the dynamic I'm talking about. That is the dynamic we're capable of when we combine and we correlate. That is what happens. That's what we're capable of when we combine our efforts, our intentions, and our geniuses as species, different species. We create things like that. We create things like that. That shit was beautiful, man. That shit was beautiful. When we combine our skills, hold on. Let me go back. Where the tusk at? Man, where the tusk at? Where the tusk at? That shit is dope. You see, when we combine, we come up with things like that. Look at that, imitating the tusk of the animal that they so revere. When we combine our energies, that's what happens. You see, this right here is not a combination of anything. This is not a mutual combination of anything. This is not combining. That's only one side wins. That's only one side wins. You understand what I'm saying? That's not combining this. This shit ain't combining this. This right here, that's combining this. Because that's showing, that's the elephant going. You looking at the elephant going, damn. All right. Think about using my tusk next time when, if you ever get in a jam and then the dude, you know what I'm saying, dude's like, okay, I'll figure it out. Boom. He figured it out. He said, all right, two dudes try to grab me somehow, boom, I'm going to throw the tusk on them. Man, that shit is just dope, bro. That's just beautiful. All right, let's move on. Here we have the hyena men of Nigeria. Nomads tame baboons and snakes to make them perform. Now, this is the thing too. Obviously, when it comes to the commercialization and exploitation of these guys, this is what they call it. But it got nothing to do. These motherfuckers didn't catch these hyenas just for straight money. I'm just gonna read it to you. Hyenas are seen hugging their tamers and sitting on command as baboons wearing football shirts take money from onlookers in wild animal shows in Nigeria. A documentary on the hyena boards has revealed the trainers' practices and methods in trapping hyenas, monkeys, and snakes to use in paid performances in the country. Dancing men make the hyenas spin around before they jump into their arms, and snake handlers show crowds by putting their faces perilously close to poisonous reptiles. A crew from South African company TIA Productions filmed a group of the Abuja, Nigeria's capital, showing their family business in action. Children are trained to tame the wild animals from birth, being fed portions the nomads believe enables them to handle them without fear of harm. The hyena boys must also be tamed, fed strange medicines from infancy, and plied with snakes to be integrated into the community, fueled by the belief that they are spiritually connected to the animals. You see what I'm saying? You see, that's what y'all don't understand is that when people get a hold of this shit, and when I say people, I mean that the Western mentality of thinking in regards to, you see, making them perform is this mentality. You understand what I'm saying? Making them perform is that mentality. But see, what people always disregard, and for me, like I said, instead of me telling you, you gonna read. I'm gonna read it to you so you can understand that to us, it's not. It has never been about fucking money. It's just now, it has to be about money. You understand what I'm saying? It's never been about money, but now it has to be about money because anything and everything that comes from good intent, positive intent, has now been distorted and mixed in to money. Anything and everything. You know how people try to say the nicest things are free? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But see, the nicest things don't get your belly with food in it. The nicest things don't fucking pay your bills. Nicest things don't put gas in your car. The hard things put fucking gas in your car. You understand me? So my point is that to live and survive in the system, you gotta do the same thing to a certain extent. It's fucked up. But what the fuck else you supposed to do? Die? You know, it's like even for me, I live in the system of fuckery. So what? I just die? So how the fuck do I not only get out of it, survive? How the hell do I separate from it? I have to survive to get out of it. You know, that's like being in prison. So you around a bunch of killers and shits. So what do? Do you just curl up and die? No. You got to thug it out until you make it to the other side. You have to. That's how you survive. It's just what's unfortunate is that you can get lost in the mix. You can end up, by rubbing elbows with the devil. You might turn into him. Right? By rolling in the damn pig pen with the pigs, you might start looking like one. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's dangerous to fuck with it. But nevertheless, like I said, what do? Do you die? And that's why, it's been implemented that way to where if you're not part of the system, you're fucked, right? If you don't stay in line, you get cut out. So I'm saying half the shit I'm talking about. That's why, a lot of things have probably happened to me is because of the things I'm talking about, or the way I look at things, or maybe what or whatever the fuck. But one thing's for sure is, since I don't agree, motherfuckers will damn sure try to make me feel that in other ways of living. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. If people don't like what you say, they don't kill you right then and there. They just fuck you off in other ways of your life. They figure out other ways to infringe uncomfortability. Let's make them uncomfortable. Let's make them uncomfortable. Since we know we can't kill them, we'll just make life fucking miserable. See what I'm saying? So understand that even, unfortunately, people like these guys, who I read, they have a spiritual connection with these hyenas. Not only does this article start by saying they're trying to make them sound like they're fucking circus guys, but then they're going, how else are we supposed to make money? How else are we supposed to make some money? We figured we'll take one of our, these spiritual things we do, and then we'll have you idiots come and look. The fuck else are we going to do? You know how you stop it? Why don't we get rid of the money then? Let's see what happens. Get rid of the money. See what happens. Because this is my thing. The hyena boys will still be messing with hyenas. Before, during, and after the money. What y'all zoos going to be doing after the money? Because the only reason why you got the fucking zoos is for the money. So, the crocodile people of Nigeria, Benin, the python people of Benin will still be messing with pythons before and after the onlookers and visitors. What about your zoo? Y'all still gonna have zoos when people stop coming? Y'all still gonna have zoos when people stop coming? Hmm? Y'all gonna have zoos when people stop coming? Didn't think so. That's the only reason why you fucking got the zoos there. It's because you want people to pay for that shit. So my point is that the people that I'm talking about who have natural relationships with these species, they will continue to do so before, during, and after the money. Which is why what they do is beneficial. That's why it's important, is because it's beneficial to both parties. Now, Mufasa Muhammad, a tamer who demonstrated making a hyena sit on command, said he had been practicing since he was 5 years old and raises his own animals. And they put their muzzle on them so they don't bite the people, not them. Them motherfuckers will walk around with those hyenas all day. They just keep the muzzles on them and the leash because look how close they are to the people. You know what I'm saying? That hyena don't know all these motherfuckers right here. All it knows is his handlers. A fucking hyena. Look how big that thing is, man. Since the animal was little, I've been feeding him, giving him meat and medicine. He got used to me. I beat him if he misbehaves. If he does nothing, I don't. It will turn around and hug us when it enjoys it. Global animal charities have long campaigned against the capture and training of wild animals, pleading to countries to introduce laws to stop performances and asking tourists not to fuel the trade by giving money. The hyenas are kept chained and muzzled while snakes live in boxes and containers. Some of the tamed animals are sold to rich Nigerian families to keep them for their children, while others are used in touring performances that incorporate dancing and drumming music. Baboons are trained to approach spectators and dance or perform tricks, then take money to their masters. Like I said, that shit, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that shit. I don't agree with, like I said, the exploitation. And that's what is unfortunate, man. I don't agree with that shit one bit. Whether it comes from Africa, North America, well, I don't give a fuck. Like, to pimp out an animal and to put it in places of miscomfort for your comfortability, I'm not rocking with you. And that's what I'm saying, is that concept is not old. That concept is new, because this idea of money and the way we look at it, very, very new. Very, very new. Very new. Okay, and then let's check out. We got Queen Califia, right? I don't know if y'all ever heard of Queen Califia. Okay, she is one of the. This is the funny thing is too, is they say Califia is a fictional warrior queen who ruled over a kingdom of black women living on the mythical island of California. The character of Queen Califia was created by Spanish writer Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo, who's first introduced in who first introduced her in his popular novel entitled Las Sergas de Esplandian, The Adventures of Esplandian, written around 1500. So, let me tell you, and this is the funny thing about these motherfuckers. Yo, I'm about to break some shit down, so pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, feel me on this. So, Califia, first of all. Califia, right? They call it Califia, and they say she's a fictional warrior. Okay? So they say she's not real, right? So, let me ask you this. Okay, now, before I even ask you anything, let me break something else down. So I ain't broke nothing down yet. I'm just laying the cards down. Okay, so they're saying she's a fictional warrior who ruled over a kingdom of black women. So obviously, when they say she's a fictional warrior, they're implying that the story is fake. They're not only implying it's a fake, but they're implying that the whole shit is made up, right? So let me ask you this. Do y'all know that there is a state called California, right? And I'm pretty sure when I said Califia, instinctively you would, correlate that with California, just because it sounds alike. So, answer me this. This is the first question. How the fuck? Hold on, y'all gotta see me on this one. How the fuck does a fictional character have a name that rings so many bells and holds so much weight through time that they name a fucking whole state over her? You know what I'm saying? They name a state after her. Can y'all tell me, and if somebody watches who can answer this question, put this in the comment down below. Can you give me a state or something as prominent as a state or maybe even a country that is named after a fictional character? And a fictional character who looks opposite of the colonizer. When I say the colonizer, I'm saying the person who came and invaded your shit, right? He looked different from you. Why would they name any land after one of their enemies? And not just any enemy, but a powerful queen enemy. Who does that? Who does that? Especially if it's some fake shit. Is there some place called Superman fucking City? Is there a place called fucking Batmanville? Or Vampireville? Or because there's so many fictional characters and shit that are very, famous and profound. And there's not a state or a country named after that fictional person. How's somebody gonna write a book about some fictional? That's like saying that there's a Peter Panville somewhere because somebody wrote about Peter Pan, right? Neverland, whatever the fuck it's called. And then somebody called the state Peter Panville or some stupid shit. Why would they call it How do you call some shit California and name it after your enemy who was a queen? And it was fake? And then that queen didn't even exist and you gonna name land to give those people any solace of like home advantage? Why would any colonizer do that? That's why I know it ain't true. And then when they said here that it was a Spanish man who created her. Okay. The Spanish, they're the ones that invaded South America, the Colombias and all that, the Caribbeans, before anybody else. They're the ones that invaded, right? So they had the first interactions with these black folks, with these dark-skinned people, the Olmecs, right? The Californians, the real Californians, right? So if I come and I take your shit over, why would I talk about your queen and write a bunch of good stories that talked about her, and just even acknowledge her, right? Acknowledge how, if she was pretty, if she was rich. Why? That's like Thomas Jefferson writing a book about some slave and making him like he wasn't a slave, he was a king that lived in America, and he was well respected and had money and da-da-da-da-da. That don't make no fucking sense. Your enemy doesn't write in books that endear you. Your enemy doesn't write books that revere you. Your colonizer does not write books that revere you. So that's where you guys got to catch the holes, is that when they start talking about fictional warrior, number one, watch that shit. Because when they're talking about the opposite color, it turns into fiction. If this said white, they would say Khalifa is a warrior queen. That's what they would say. It would say Khalifa is a warrior queen. But since they are describing what color she is, so they definitely have to add fictional, because that shit never existed. The mythical island of California. Like there's no islands around California. Like there's no fucking islands around California right now. Right now, like there's no islands around California. That shit's crazy. Now, like I said, this guy, they say this Garcia guy is the one that created Queen Califia. Okay, so then did he create this rock art of Queen Califia? Huh? Huh? Did he create this rock art of Queen Califia? Did he a Spanish dude draw a bunch of pictures of black powerful women that they came to invade and wrote cool books about them? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? Did the Spanish come through, invade, and then start talking about and drawing rock art and admiring the people they invaded? Made fake stories about them and wrote and created this rock art of this dark-skinned woman who didn't look nothing like them? So this rock art must be fake, huh? You see the jewelry. You see the jewelry. You see all the jewelry on the chest right there, right on the shoulders. So all this rock art must be fake of this dark-skinned women. This is cave art. The Cali, they call them the Cali blacks, huh? Is this somebody, some Spanish motherfucker came and drew this shit? Why would Spanish people start drawing about people that don't look like them? Tell me, why would Spanish people start drawing about people that didn't look like them? Huh? That's like goddamn George Washington. He's drawing about people that didn't look like him. That's like George Washington drawing about Indians. He didn't draw about Indians. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Look at this. You see this rock art? You see that? Look at this. Look at this. No, we'll just bring it back to ancient America. We'll bring it back to ancient America. We'll bring it back to ancient America. Ancient America. Califia. Y'all don't know shit about that. So, when it comes to the rock art, look at this. You see the face? You see the woman? You see there's a ponytail, shoulders. This is rock art. It's that rock art. Did they draw this shit too? Did they draw this shit too? The Spanish people, that is. This rock art of this woman. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Didn't think so. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And then let me show you something real cool about her. Let me show you something really cool about her. In the novel, let me show you some more fake shit that they talk about, which is some actually real shit. In the novel, Califia is a pagan who's convinced to raise an army of women warriors and sail away from California with a large flock of trained griffins so that she can join a Muslim battle against Christians who are defending Constantinople, which are a large flock of trained griffins. That's what I want to talk to you about, is that she was also known of having this relationship with animals. The bear, the American bear, the North and South American bear, the extinct griffins, the whales of the sea in that area, all of that shit. All of that shit. You know? So then let's move up north a little more. There's a 63-year-old marine biologist living on Cook Island, when a 20-ton humpback whale crowded into her personal space on a recent diving trip to save her life. Now, part way through the event, the team noticed a tiger shark swimming by, and not exactly a tiny one at that. Other fishermen and divers have seen the same shark nearby the reef and say that this is as big as a pickup truck. So they're saying the truck was about They're saying the shark was about 20 feet. Now, Hauser claimed in all her years diving as a marine biologist for the Cook Island Bay Center of cetacean research and conservation, she had never experienced anything like this. She said she spent 28 years underwater with whales and have never had a whale so tactile and so insistent on putting me on his head or belly or back, or most of all, trying to tuck me under his huge pectoral fin. Um, so she's explaining here, I tried to get away from him for fear that if he rams me too hard or hit me with his flipper or tail, that he would break my bones and rupture my organs. If he held me under his pectoral fin, I would have drowned. Hauser lived to tell the tale, suffering little more than a few scratches and bruises, but as a biologist, she was left mystified by the odd behavior. It is unknown for whales to swim up or to even breach the surface near humans, either to gulp down food or simply to get a closer look. Repeat passes and repeat passes and caresses are far less common, leaving Hauser to hypothesize the whale's behavior was intentional. There is a published scientific paper about humpbacks protecting other species of animals. For instance, they hide seals under their pectoral fins to protect them from killer whales. Intelligent marine mammals shielding humans from ocean predators seems to be a tale as old as time. The ancient Greeks, nasty bastards, for example, depicted dolphins as sacred protectors and allies in a number of their stories and works of art. They got that right, though. But many experts still aren't sold. The stories living up to the hype, blaming our tendency to anthropomorphize the rare situations where do we come across potential dangerous sharks and benevolent citizens. So, like I said, man, this is something that we know and we understand. Most of us understand this, you know. Most of us get the fact that these animals have been part of us for a very long time, you know. So, when, where is it here? So, in the north, the Eskimo people, Aboriginal people that live there, they have a great relationship with the whales. You know, they have that like I said, that dynamic companionship. And so in 1938, an American anthropologist, Margaret Lantis, analyzed some of these people, the Inuit people, the northern people of North America. Lantis found evidence of this in widespread taboos and rituals meant to cement the relationship between people and whales. In many places, a recently killed whale was given a drink of fresh water, a meal, and even traveling bags to ensure a safe journey back to its spiritual home. Individual whalers had their own songs to call the whales to them. Sometimes shamans performed rituals of religions. Sometimes shamans performed religious ceremonies inside circles made of whale bones. Stashing of whaling amulets, an ambiguous word used to describe everything from carved jewelry like charms to feathers or skulls, were passed from father to son in whaling families. Now, to non-indigenous observers, it was all so mysterious, so unknowable. And for the archaeologists and biologists especially, it was at odds with Western scientific values, which prohibit anything that smacked of anthropomorphism. So you see what I'm saying? It's like to them it's crazy, and it don't make no sense. But to us, it's understanding that there is a history there, right? There's understanding of history. Wailing amulets and bone circles were written off as a ritualistic and supernatural, with little exploration of what they actually meant to the people who created them. Instead, archaeologists who studied animal artifacts often focused on the tangible information they revealed about what ancient people ate. All right, so it's definitely telling in regards to how people saw things here. Dolphins. Some scientists believe that dolphins instinctively come to assist of other injured dolphins, and that's a small step for them to help humans too. So not only do dolphins help people, but they will even help other dolphins. The same way you saw this last article describing how the whale will help another whale. Oh no, the whales would help. Was it penguins? Where was it? It would help the penguins from killer whales. Or sea lions. It would help the sea lions from killer whales, right? That's just what they do because they understand that shit. Okay, so back to the next one. Now, however, dolphins obviously realize that humans aren't dolphins. Some scientists think dolphins help humans merely because they are curious. Although domestic animals, especially dogs, may help humans in trouble, it is almost unheard of for wild creatures to do so too. Can dolphins imagine what it is like for a human in trouble and help us because they feel for us? We don't know the answer. It is probably the tendency of wild dolphins to help humans that make us identify with them so much. Scientists may say that by thinking this, we wrongly suppose that dolphins share human thoughts and emotions. Perhaps though, if scientists are able to unlock the secret of dolphin communication, we will find out. Dolphins lead researchers to the girl in the water. Madelenza Bariza told National Geographic that her team was studying bottlenose dolphins near the shore when one dolphin broke away from a feeding circle and set off into deeper waters. The other dolphins followed, as did the surprised researchers. After about 3 miles, the dolphins circled a girl in the water. The researchers rescued the 18-year-old girl, had been suffering from hypothermia. If the dolphins hadn't have led them to her, she would have died. Dolphins saved swimmer from sharks. April 2014, swimmer Adam Walker was joined by dolphins to protect him from the sharks on an 8-hour endurance swim between New Zealand's two main islands. When a shark started following him, a pod of dolphins started to circle him, apparently to protect him from the shark. The pod stayed with him for over an hour. There's even a video for it. Dolphins lead divers to safety. In 2004, the Telegraph reported that a group of divers lost in the Red Sea for 13 hours feared they would die before dolphins led rescuers to them. The crew of the rescue boat that eventually found them said that their dolphins jumping across the prow in their boat in the direction the group were in. The dolphins seem to have been drawing attention to the lost divers. So for people, like I said, for people to just have dolphins just jumping through hoops, and just flapping their fins, they don't realize dolphins can do shit like this. That's what I'm saying. You disrespecting the fucking dolphin, putting it in a fucking cage and making it just fucking slap water at people when it could be out here doing this beautiful shit and blending with people. You know? Dolphins save Puerto Princesa fishermen. In 2008, a pod of dolphins in the Philippines saved a local fisherman from drowning after his small boat overturned in a storm. The dolphins may have even known the fisherman, who was also an official dolphin warden in his town. That's crazy. So they might have even recognized him. That's why they saved him. That's what they think. Dolphins save surfer from sharks. MSNBC report in 2007, a pod of bottlenose dolphins in California formed a protective, another protective ring around a surfer that had just been attacked by a great white shark, allowing him to get to shore and saving his life. You see what I'm saying? You see the patterns, that ring, they'll form that ring. Dolphin saved injured diver. Underwater Times report that in 2006, dolphins drew attention to a lone scuba diver who had been knocked unconscious in the sea near the Channel Islands between England and France. Dolphins saved boaters in 2004 tsunami. In 2004, a scuba diving instructor was in the Sea of Thailand with diving crews when the tsunami hit. He says he was saved because he followed dolphins to safety. Dolphin saves boy's life in 2000. And it was reported that a dolphin called Filippo saved a boy from drowning when he fell from his father's boat on the Italian coast. Beluga whale saves diver. The Telegraph reports that during a free diving competition in the Arctic tank at an aquarium in China, a distressed diver was guided to the surface by a beluga whale called Mila, saving the diver's life. Dolphin appears to rescue whales. In 2008, a bottlenose dolphin called Moko successfully led a stranded pygmy sperm whale mother and a calf back out to sea after several unsuccessful rescue attempts by humans off the New Zealand coast. Beautiful. You see what I'm saying? These stories suggest that dolphins, like humans, will help other creatures without the thought for themselves. Dolphins, of course, aren't nice all the time, nor humans, nor any other animals. But this selfless behavior makes them stand out from almost all other creatures. So, folks, through all those stories, and there's countless more. You see that these animals are going out their way, strangers to you, to save, right? That's the type of dynamic we could be having with these animals. Imagine if that relationship could be cultivated and not minimized to them sitting in a fucking cage at a zoo, to not minimize to them sitting in a fucking backyard, right? And if they're not in the backyard, they're on your rope that tells them how far they can walk. Like, imagine if they're running around doing that, saving people in large oceans, saving other fucking animals in the ocean. Imagine what else we could be doing together, like that guy who's doing Muay Thai, creating defensive stances, shit that can keep you healthy and defend you at the same time. Why? By watching the mannerisms and the moves of an elephant. Teaches you a physical fitness, right? By not only moving like one, but then it can also defend you when you need defending yourself. That is ultimately the benefits of creating such a dynamic. Not to put them in a fucking zoo. That's not the benefit. That's not the end game. It's not the end game, people. It's not the point of this shit. This is not the point. This is not the point of this. To put these beautiful fish in boxes where they can't leave. That's a prison. That's a cell that you put people in. Now you put animals in. This is not the point. This was never the point. If you want a pool and you put yourself in there, but why the fuck are you gonna make it that other things have to sit in there without their permission? Just because you feed them, now you think you cool with it. This shit ain't right. That ain't right. And then you don't take care of it, it ends up looking like that. Where it could be in its own habitat, in an ecosystem where it takes care of itself. But no, you want to come and control its ecosystem, its environment. You want to control it all. Now these poor things are living in the same fucking cells that people live in. This shit ain't right, folks. This ain't right. Would you want to be stuck in some shit like that? I know you're gonna say no, so why the fuck you think it's cool to put that fish in there? Well, because you think that fish doesn't think. That's what you think. That's what your dumb ass thinks. You don't know what the fuck that fish thinks. You don't know if the fish can even think at all. But you just rather assume that it doesn't. But your dumb ass don't know if it does. How can you assume something doesn't think when you have no idea? You can't. You have no way of knowing because you have no fucking idea. But then to assume that it enjoys sitting, to assume that it enjoys sitting in these tanks. Do you like sitting somewhere where you're confined and you can never leave? Then why the fuck would it? Why the fuck would it? Huh? Then why would it? If you don't like being on a leash, if you don't like being on a leash, then why would you put something else on a leash? If you don't like being put in small places, and not even small places, I'll put you in a house, big ass house, but you just can't leave. You wouldn't want that. Even if I put you in a 3-story house, you wouldn't want that. But a fucking fish doesn't even get no 3-story fucking tank. So how the fuck is it okay? It breeds like you. It eats like you. It has, it motherfucker probably has kids and shit just like you. How the fuck is it okay? How is this shit okay right here? Look at this shit. How is that okay? That motherfucker's supposed to be in the water, swimming around. And now you got a rope on it. We shouldn't look at people like that. In the state about. Have I not? We wonder why. I don't understand that. We wonder why our animals are extinct. But yet we put them in cages and boxes and fucking all sorts of weird shit on leashes. But then we wonder where the animals are going and why most animals will bite the shit out of you. But how do y'all look at me like I'm crazy when y'all do this shit right here? Y'all got a motherfucking raccoon. Look at this. This dude got a turtle in the tank on the leash. Look at this shit. Lady got a goddamn pig on a leash. Iguana on the leash. A deer. All these animals that have been taken out their natural habitat. And now you decided to put them on a leash. Got a crab on a leash. This is colonization at its finest. And people, this mentality, unfortunately, it has got us to a place. It has got us to a place where we don't need to be anymore. It's got us to a place, and let me show you real quick. Let me show you where it's got us to. It's got us to a place Well, like I said, even our kids, they're okay with this shit. You know, our kids look at it as it's okay to look at animals at my leisure, even when they're not from here. You know, it's okay to put animals in a cage for my leisure. And that's what, for me, it ruins it, is that when we make this okay, then this becomes okay. When we make this okay, this shit right here, then that becomes okay. Trapping the motherfuckers in little boxes. The same way you got this big old bear trapped in a box. Same fucking thing. All because little Susie wants something to stare at. That's fucking sick. I mean, it's sick. Look at this shit. It's sick. Even that dog. That dog don't need to be on that leash. The sheep don't need to be on no fucking leash. Tiger, leash. Look at this shit. Bunny, leash. This is not what's supposed to be happening with animals. But now, the act of colonizing has turned this thing into a profit. Right? Got a penguin on a leash. Penguin is not supposed to be on a goddamn leash on the sidewalk in California. And just so happens, what else is going to be on a leash? Human beings. So for me, this don't seem far off. All this shit right here, it don't seem far off to this. It don't seem far off to this right here. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me. Huh? You tell me, what is the difference here? What's the difference here? When you see that, when you see that. What is the difference? There's not much. There's not much at all. The only thing that's different is that one's furry and got 4 legs, and the other one is a human being and got 2 legs. It's still the same person holding the leash. It's still the same mentality. Even this idiot, I don't know what he's thinking. Because they'll put your ass on the leash too. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference? There is no difference. This is the same mentality. This is the same mentality. This is the same mentality. Same idea. Same concept. Same concept. All this right here, see this? Same concept. Same concept. See? Elephant in a box, right? Bear in a box. Fish in a box. Chicken stuck in a box. People stuck in a fucking box. People in the box. Same thing too. People in the box. Birds in a fucking box. This is cool to y'all, right? This is beautiful, right? This bird, and half the time, if you think about it too, y'all know how much a bird wingspan, and they're in this little ass thing. Can you imagine how small a bird feels when they're in these things? When they can fly thousands of feet up in the goddamn air? Could you imagine what it does to the psyche of the fucking bird, man? Could you imagine that? So somebody please tell me, what is the difference when you put a bird like that? Put him in a cage. What's the difference? What's the difference with this? Hmm? What's the difference? Hmm? What's the difference? What's the difference? Huh? Huh? What's the difference? When you see that bird in that cage and you see that man in that cage, there's no difference. One just got fur and can fly, and the other one can't fly. And the other one can't fly. What's the difference? Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Same thing. You stuck in the you in the bird cage. I mean the bird cage. You in there. You in there. Put y'all in there too. Oh, you see how this one? You see how the black dude got him in there. I like that. That's a good one. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. What's the difference? There ain't no difference. There ain't no difference. This is the same shit. Over and over. Same shit. People in the cage. People in the cage. Birds in the cage. You know what I'm saying? People in the cage. Fish in the cage. Bear in the cage. Oh, throw them in the cage. Elephant in the cage. What's the difference? Huh? What's the difference? What's the difference between that bird in the cage, that man in the cage, and the elephant in the cage? Huh? Look how small that fucking cage is that elephant got to go in. Look how small that motherfucker is. Look how small that cage is. Look at that. Look at that. Motherfucker could barely move. Look how small this bird cage is. Where's that one I saw? Look at this big ass bird in this cage. Big ass elephant in that cage. This is the shit I'm talking about, people. This is a certain type of mentality. This is a colonization type of mentality where people look at things and exploit them. But so when I say people, I'm gonna be specific. So white supremacy is the goddamn father of this shit. Is the author of the book on how to do this shit right here. Because all these things right here, zoos, white people own them. They make the most money. Fish tanks, white people own them. Make the most money. What else? Fucking leashes, white people own leashes. Make the most money in the whole leash game. Even kids got leashes. Slavery, white people own that. Make the most money in slavery. Bird cages, fucking bird selling period. White people own bird cages. Made the most fucking money doing that shit. Prisons, white people make the most money building prisons, and they made fucking prisons. I can keep going. Elephants, circuses, white people make fucking circuses, and they had to stop them shit because white people kept complaining so goddamn much. Other white people complained so much, so they slowed them down, but they still got them somewhere. You see what I'm saying? All this shit connected to. It's not connected to the goddamn. I don't know any black people that own any zoos. I don't know any black people that used to. I mean, we lived in Africa, so why would we come and hunt our own animals for fun? We lived there. We didn't have to hunt. The motherfuckers in our backyard, they weren't as cool to us because we live with them. They're cool to y'all motherfuckers. That's why y'all want to hunt them. Fish. Do y'all know any fish tank companies owned by black folk that are making billions of fucking dollars? Or just the idea of putting fucking fish in a tank? Does that come from black people? Or any dark-skinned person that you know of? Fuck out of here. Like, I'm going to call it for what it is. I'm not going to play these. I'm not going to beat around any fucking bush. The leash. You put that goddamn leash on your kids. Your kids got fucking leashes on. So I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it. Tell me what bird fucking cage company some African-American dude is killing the game in. It's because that idea of making money like that was never a thing to us. To take something and exploit the shit out of it like that, we started doing it after we saw y'all do it with us. And now the whole world thinks it's cool to exploit each other and everything in it. So, that being said, this is how one day I hope it turns out to be. This is how I want to end it. I hope one day it turns out like this. I hope one day it turns out just like this. Where y'all motherfuckers in the cages and the animals are watching y'all. That's what I wish for. This is what I wish for. I wish one day this happens. I wish one day this shit right here happens. Where you stuck in the cage and you don't have nowhere to go, but the animals are roaming free as they're supposed to be. This is what I hope fucking happens to every motherfucker who has a dog that they put in a closet or in a backyard that hates being there. Every person that knows that they leave their dog in places that they don't need to be leaving it and only keep the dog just because it makes them feel better. Buy a fucking pet just for their fucking selfish, narcissistic feeling. Who go to these zoos and sit there and entertain the fact that these animals are suffering, sitting in a place waiting for you to come visit them at their leisure. I hope this shit happen to y'all. I hope nature somehow reverses the effect and the dynamic to the point where you are the animal, whether it is literally or metaphorically, that you are the motherfucking animal that's in the cage, and the real goddamn, the real people of the earth are walking around on four legs, just like that, and you're the fucking animal. That's what I hope for. See this right here? I wish every little bit of this. I wish every little bit of this. This needs to happen. This needs to go down. I guarantee it'll change your fucking mind. I guarantee you're gonna wake up thinking a whole lot different when you sit in that cage just for a couple of hours. Just for a couple of hours. Just for a couple of hours. Maybe even a day. Fuck a couple hours. Maybe in a day. Y'all been doing this shit for years. What about a day? You sit in there for a day. Fuck a couple hours. Fuck being nice. Y'all need to sit in there. This is what I need. This is what I need right here. I need y'all to sit in the cage. Yeah. It's your turn to sit in the cage. It's your turn to have a tiger look at you. I mean, a lion look at you like that. And poke at you and take pictures of you. That's what needs to happen. You know? That's what I need to happen. That's what I need to happen. That's how I'm going to leave y'all. Would that be all right with you? Is this okay? Or you're not trying to, y'all not trying to get down like that? Because you're scared for that, huh? It's fucked up, right? It's not fair, right? So how the fuck is it fair for the other way around? How is it fair for the kids to be outside the cage and that lion be in there? It's not fair for the kids to be in that cage. It's not fair for that lion to be in that cage. Nobody should be in a fucking cage. Only body need to be in a cage are people who act violent and who act not according to all of our truths. Pedophiles. They don't need to keep them in the cage. Just kill them. Pretty sure we'll all agree on that. Pretty sure. If you don't agree, we'll need to check you out too, make sure you ain't a pedophile. But pedophiles, all of them, just go ahead and just kill them. But like I said, either way, if you want to house them, y'all can house them. I'm okay with that. I'd rather we save the money, kill them. But like I said, most people will agree with that. Murderers, right? You overwhelmingly convicted of a crime. Yeah, put you up. Understand putting the people, but even them, they don't need to be caged to where they can't be around people, where it turns them even fucking crazier. We're doing us the fucking disservice. We're gonna make our job harder taking care of these people if we make them crazier. How does that help us? And that doesn't deter. You don't listen. You don't tell somebody who's crazy, you better stop acting crazy or we're gonna make you crazier. They're already fucking crazy. There's nothing you can do to them, man. So you can't tell a crazy person, you can't threaten a crazy person with 40 days in a hole, a year in a hole. They're already crazy. You can't threaten crazy people with more crazy. It'll never be enough for them. They fuck around, they'll level up in crazy just because that's what they do. So, like I said, if we created a system of understanding the fact that people need, number one, other human engagement, right, and things of that nature, then we would understand the fact that even animals, you can't just sit animals in the fucking zoo. So, the day they fix prison systems and all that is the day they'll fix zoos and all the other ways, and all the other irrational ways that we look at simple things, you know? So, I don't know. Y'all think twice. Not even I don't know. I do know. It's up to y'all to figure it out. You know, you can pick a side. Y'all can call me petty, whatever. But like I said, you drop that seed Drop that seed in your kid where they grow up thinking it's okay to put an animal in a box for amusement. That seed will grow one way or another. I don't know what type of tree it'll turn into, but it damn sure won't be a good one. I know that. Because the seed has ill intent. There is no fucking seed that has ill intent and grows into this prosperous, positive fucking tree. It will always have branches of ill intent. Always. Because the seed consisted of it. So that's all I got for you. Peace.